In this video, you will learn 6 mistakes you're actively making while scripting on Roblox. I will also show you how to avoid these 6 beginner mistakes with examples and good explanation. If you want to become a better scripter on Roblox, then make sure that you watch this video all of the way to the end, and let's hop right into the video. So on number 1, we got not checking the output. So most of you probably don't even know what the output is, but the output displays certain information such as prints, warns, and errors, and you can use the output to identify errors in your code. By using prints and warns, you could even see where your code stops working in case you don't see any errors. The output is the number 1 thing you should check out before you ask out for help. To open the output, all you have to do is just press F9 on your keyboard and then you will get the output. Or if that doesn't work because of your keyboard, you could just do /console in the Roblox chat and it does the same. Now I will be giving you an example of the output. So right over here, we got a door over here. And if I walk through it, I should be able to walk through it if I touch it. So let's do that. Okay, it doesn't work. That is weird. So I just taught you to check the output. So we're going to type /console in the chat. We're going to go to client, as you can see. And this transparency is not a valid member of part workspace.part. So it means that transparency does not exist. So now we're going to click stop. We're going to check our code. And with line 9. And as you can see, script.parent.transparency. But that doesn't exist because it's transparency. So all we have to do is just add an N. As you can see, transparency, just like that. And now we can test this out again. This is a real-time example of how you use the output. And every Roblox developer does it all the time. So let's see, boom. And as you can see, now the code works. We can walk through it just like a door. So this is an example of the output, and this is something you should always check as your number 1 thing. So make sure that you do not forget to check the output. On number 2, we have syntax errors. Syntax errors are mistakes in using the language. Examples of syntax errors are missing a comma, a quotation mark, or even misspelling words. Capital letters matter in Roblox. If you do not follow the tutorial you're watching precisely enough, you will miss out on certain letters or words, whatever. You will miss out on things. Roblox is a very sensitive game engine in terms of language. And by not using capitals properly, you might run into hundreds of errors because all of the words are misspelled. Make sure you always use capital letters in the tutorial or whenever you're scripting. Here is an example. So over here we got a part with the text test on it. And over here we have a script that will change the text to subscribe to newbie. You should actually do that. So let's try that out. So when we play the game, we're loading, but the text did not change. And the number 1 thing you have been taught to do, check the output. We're going to check the output. Part is not a valid member of workspace. So what this means, over here it's a capital P, but over here it's a non-capital P. And even if we would change this to workspace.part, and we will play the game again, you will see that now it will say surface GUI does not exist in part. As you can see, surface GUI is not a valid member of part workspace.part. So to fix this, you have to really watch out for capitals. As you can see over here in surface GUI, the S and the G are capitalized, and in text label it's the T and the L. And then in properties, you will see text is with a capital T. So all we have to do is surface GUI with a text, with a text label, and it's .text, like that. So now we have the capitals correctly, and now we will not run into a syntax error. We will not run into any syntax errors. So now when we play the game, it will say subscribe to newbie. As you can see, now it works because we changed the capitals. We made sure to filter out any syntax error. But even if you would do this, for example, .text with a non-capital T, what happens is it's just going to say text is not a valid member of text label. As you can see, that will happen. And all you have to do to fix it is just change it to a capital T. And Roblox actually autocorrects you almost, because if you would type T or like this, it will also do the capital T already, just like that. So this is really all you have to do to fix any syntax errors. And this is the number 2 thing you should watch out for when you're a beginner on Roblox scripting. On number 3, we have not using Google. Don't get me wrong, asking for help is really smart and it's a really good move. But Google has unlimited information. Unlimited. 99% of the time, you can just Google your error and get hundreds, maybe thousands of articles with people having the same issue and them also having a solution for it. Always Google the error first if the first 2 steps did not help you out, and then here is an example of it. So now we're in the game, and you'll see test. If I click this button, the text will change. So click. Oh, it's not working. As you can see, I'm clicking. Doesn't work. F9. Okay. So we got text is not a valid member of frame. So now what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be Googling this. So now I'm on Google and I searched it. Text is not a valid member of frame. And now we have a Stack Overflow article. Text is not a valid member of frame. How do I fix that? So let's see. Over here it gives me an error. Okay. So let's read this. Frames don't have a property known as text. If you want to add text to a frame, insert a text label in the frame and customize it however you want. So this gummy dude or girl just helped us out. They said if you want to add text to a frame, insert a text label in the frame and customize it to however you want. So if we go back to Roblox Studio, we see text is not a valid member of frame. So let's see. We have a text label. Okay. So we got that. We already inserted it. So now let's see what we did wrong. Script. So this is script.parent.frame and then .text. But .text doesn't exist on a frame. So how do we fix this? Over here, we need to identify the text label. So all we have to do is text label .text. Just like that. And now it will work. So the gummy person has helped us out by telling us that frame does not have a text property and that we need to refer to a text label. So we have a text label and now we do .text and now it will work. So when we test the game out, you will see that if we press change text, as you can see, subscribe to Newbie and like the video. You should do that. So this is how you use Google. Of course, there are more errors and multiple articles on all those errors. So make sure you use Google first and actually take the time to dig in and read what their solutions are and their issue. Identify the issue and then you can get a solution for it by just Googling. So make sure you always use Google before you actually ask for help. So on number 4, we have starting off too big. So most of you just join Roblox and want to make the next jailbreak or the new version of Arsenal or Phantom Forces 2.0, whatever. I see more and more people joining Roblox, heading into studio and immediately starting to make these gigantic, enormous, huge games. If you don't know who Alvinblocks is a YouTuber who makes really great tutorials on beginner coding, and Alvin really explains very well. Alvinblocks has a quote which goes by, you can't make your 50th game without making your first. So Alvinblocks means that even if the game fails, you cannot make your 50th game without making your first ever game. I always suggest people to make an obby to start off. Players just enjoy and like an easy obby, and an obby which is easy to complete and doesn't take too much of their time. Players enjoy small obbies. That's why I always suggest people to start off by making an obby. This is just a suggestion though. Feel free to do whatever you want, but start off with a small game. Starting off too big leads to the urges to stop working on it, or in other words, giving up. But more on that later. Here is an example. So on screen you see The Takeover, which is a game I made last year with my business partner. Sadly didn't work out, but the game was so huge. It was very big. So if I click play, you'll probably see what I mean. As you can see, it's just going to load. Okay, yep, we could just click launch. Because the game was so big, it was enormous. So as you can see, we got a tutorial. As you can see, it's actually laggy too. The UI looks a little bit bad, but that's okay. So over here we got a gun shop. Yeah, the game is really laggy, so please don't judge me. We actually had to use free model guns because we had no idea. But yeah, we got a zipline too. The game works, but it's just such big of a project. If I would go into Shift P, you will see what I mean. If I would zoom in, you would see these gigantic buildings. The game was just too big to start off. This was my first ever good game, but it was so big that we just didn't have time to polish it up, code it, and it just failed. But that's okay. So I will show you how big it was actually. So if I just switch to the server side, oh, as you can see, we got moving alien ships too. Oh, now we can see it. And we got a cargo plane too. As you can see the cargo plane, or the jailbreak cargo plane. But this game was just so big, it just didn't work. So if we would go to this, and then we would go to lightning, and then just remove all of this, and maybe change the fog, because the fog is annoying. Fog and 0 maybe. Okay, nope. 10,000, 100. Okay, there. So this is how big the game was. As you can see, we got some kind of not a forest, some kind of swamp. We got an alien energy pipe, and we got this gigantic city. But as I said, the game was just too big, and it was a really good game, but it just did not work out. So that's why I said, please only just start off small. And just like Alvin Block said, you cannot make your 50th game without making your first. So keep that quote in mind and never give up. On number 5, we have giving up. Everyone was once a beginner at coding, and maybe you are still a beginner. There's nothing wrong with being a beginner in Roblox scripting, because all of us were a beginner too. I see a lot of people giving up after a day of scripting because it's too big, or it's too hard to make, or it's too complicated to solve the error in the script. But that's why I gave you 4 tips before. By checking the output, check for syntax errors, use Google, and start off small. Failing is okay. Falling and getting up is what makes you stronger and more responsible. Giving up means you think you can't do it, but that's not true. If you give up, you will never learn. Yes, us developers also gave up sometimes, but we did continue working on our projects. We kept checking our code, we kept using Google, and we kept making games. BadCC scripted the hit game Jailbreak on Roblox. Some of us will remember the snowman package crouching speed glitch, as you can see on screen right now, and it took BadCC ages to solve. But eventually he solved it, and the glitch was never ever seen again in the entire Roblox history. With discipline and belief, you can make anything happen. So make sure you do not give up. Keep trying, keep having that discipline, keep believing in yourself, and you can make anything happen on Roblox. So make sure you do never give up, because giving up will lead to not learning things. But all of us have given up sometimes, but all you have to do is, with discipline and belief, you can make anything happen. So make sure you use these tips. And lastly, on number 6, we have not understanding the difference between the server and the client. Not understanding the difference between the server and the client is a huge issue for beginners. I know that you're a beginner and that you do not understand it right away, right off the start, but this is probably the number one thing you should understand when you're going to be scripting on Roblox. If you don't know what the server and the client means, the server is what runs the game. If something changes on the server, everyone in the game is going to see that. The client is your computer. If you're on Roblox, just like you see over here, this is a client. This is me. And this is called a client because this is my computer and I'm in the game. If you change something on the client, the server will not see it. The client will only see changes they do. So if I would, for example, destroy this part on the client, then only I will see that it's gone and others won't see that. Sometimes this is intentional or this is what's supposed to happen, but that means you're already understanding it. If you're not understanding it, please always make sure you do things on the server. You can always learn remote events, remote functions, whatever. You can always learn those things. So if you change something on the client, only that player will see that. And now here's an example of not understanding the difference between the server and the client using a data store. And a data store is what saves your data. So this is Studio, the game, what I'm playing over here. It's this right over here. So in the button, you see that the button is powered by a local script. And local means client. And what I'm doing on the client is I am checking if someone presses the button. And if they do, we're going to give newbie derpy dev 1 leader stat extra. But as I said, this is a local script, so only newbie derpy dev, me, only I will see that I got extra money. And then on the server, we have the actual data handling. So as I said, the client, if something changes on the client, the server doesn't see it. So if I would give myself money in this local script, this server script will not notice anything different. They're like, oh, no, nothing changed. Okay. Because the client does not replicate the server. Only the other way around. The server replicates the client, but not the other way around. So what I mean, if you move on the client, the server will show that for everyone. But if you change something on the client, the server is not going to see that. That's kind of what I mean with it. So I will show you what I mean. So if I give myself money with this script, as you can see, we're getting money, we're getting rich. Whoa, we're rich with 34 money. If I go to the server over here, and I'm going to do some coding magic, print game.players.newbie derpy dev leader stats .money .value. So what this does, this will print the amount of money I have on the server. And as you know, this button gives you it on a local script. It will give you this on the client. So if I press enter, the server still thinks that I have $0. And that is kind of what needs to happen. But as you can see, I just keep clicking. And if I would leave the game right now, what I'm going to be doing, as you see, I just left the game. I'm going to replay. I'm going to reload into the game. You will see that I am going to definitely have $0 because the server did not see anything that the client did. So we're loading in. It's still, okay, joining server, blah, blah, blah. Okay, there we go. Money. It's 0. Now, if I give myself some extra money, so money to value is equals to 500,000. Now, the server gave me $500,000. And now, if I would do this on the client, okay, 39, and I would print it again, print, and then that value, the server still thinks I have $500,000, which is what's supposed to happen. As you can see, I got 500,039, but the game thinks I have 500,000. So if I leave the game and I rejoin, what's going to happen? I should have $500,000, or else there's something wrong with my data store script. So let's load into the game. I should have $500,000. As you can see, I have $500,000 because the server knew that I had. The server knew I had $500,000, but the client thought I had 500,040 or something. So this is what you really need to understand. You need to understand the difference between the server and the client. If you're going to make a purchase in your game, for example, a car, make sure you remove the player's money on the server, because the server handles every single thing with money. Or if you're buying a house or something in a Roblox game, make sure you please just do it on the server, because the server is always trustworthy, and you should never trust the client. So I hope this video helped you out. This video covered 6 mistakes you're making while scripting on Roblox. I really hope you learned something from this. I really hope you picked something up from this. And I hope, I wish you very great many scripting years on Roblox. If you enjoyed this tutorial, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to support me by giving a like on this video if you like it. And if you did not like this video, please drop a dislike on the video, because honest feedback really helps me out a lot, because honesty is just amazing, you know? If you want to subscribe to my channel, make sure you do so by pressing the red button down below, and make sure to turn on post notifications, the notification bell, to never miss out on anything I upload. And all I can say is that my name is Newbie, and I say, peace out.